$22,000. That's what this luxury electric sedan costs in China. The same money you'd drop on a used Honda Civic, except this thing looks like it escaped from a BMW design studio, drives like a Tesla, and comes packed with tech that makes Mercedes nervous. The BYD Seal isn't just another Chinese car, it's the car making German executives lose sleep, and by the end of this video you'll see why. Hit that subscribe button, because on Takrov we show you the cars actually changing the game. BYD quietly became the world's largest EV manufacturer. They passed Tesla, they make their own batteries, chips, motors, everything, and the Seal is their shot at every luxury sedan maker in Europe. Launched in China in 2022, hit Europe in 2023, and it's turning heads from Norway to the Netherlands. The question isn't whether this car is good, it's whether Western buyers will accept that a Chinese brand just built something better for half the price. The moment you see the BYD Seal, one thing hits you. This doesn't look budget. BYD calls it ocean aesthetics, and it works. The front end flows. Smooth surfaces that ripple like water. The headlights are thin LED strips stretching back into the fenders like some deep sea creature. Matrix LED units that adapt to traffic, dim specific sections, project patterns on the road. Tech you'd expect in a $60,000 BMW, standard here. The grille sits low and wide with a chrome accent running like a wave, catching light. Park this next to a Tesla Model 3 and the Tesla looks plain. The Seal has personality. From the side, the proportions work. Same length as a BMW 3 Series, but the long wheelbase and short overhangs give it a stretched athletic stance. The roofline slopes gently toward the rear, suggesting speed without being aggressive. Flush door handles pop out when you approach. Wheels are 18 or 19-inch alloys with turbine-inspired designs. The profile is clean, no unnecessary creases, no fake vents, just flowing lines. Cover the badges and people would guess $50,000 minimum. The rear continues the ocean theme, full-width LED bar glowing like bioluminescence. When you unlock it, lights sweep in an animation. Below sits a subtle diffuser and the trunk lid has a ducktail spoiler lip, barely there. The whole rear sits low and wide, planted. Compared to a BMW i4 at double the price, the Seal holds its own. More cohesive, less trying too hard. Paint quality deserves mention. Aurora green, surf blue, deep blacks. The finish is glass-like with multiple clear coat layers. Panel gaps are tight, doors shut with that solid thunk, no hollowness. The Seal feels engineered. Step inside and the Seal flexes. The dashboard curves like a yacht bridge. Soft touch materials everywhere. Premium leather feel, tight stitching. Color options from executive black to two-tone combinations. Center stage sits a massive 15.6-inch rotating touchscreen. Flip it landscape for navigation. Portrait for scrolling. Same tech as Tesla but more refined. Sharp, responsive, intuitive UI. 2 taps to everything. Behind the wheel sits a 10.25-inch digital cluster. Customizable, crisp, easy to read. Above it, a heads-up display projects speed and navigation. Standard on higher trims. BMW charges $1,500 for that. The steering wheel is chunky leather with a flat bottom, tactile buttons where your thumbs rest. Volume, voice, cruise, right there. Front seats are deeply bolstered in Napa leather with heating, cooling, massage, legit massage with multiple programs. Memory functions, lumbar support, thigh support. The passenger gets the same treatment, rare in this segment. Rear seat surprise with serious legroom thanks to that wheelbase. Adults over 6 feet fit comfortably. Headroom is generous. Rear passengers get climate vents, USB-C ports, heated seats, and adjustable ambient lighting. The windows come tinted with UV protection. Above stretches a panoramic glass roof, fixed but well tinted. Floods the cabin with light, makes it feel twice as big. At night, ambient LED strips run the dashboard, doors, footwells. Customize the color through the screen. Blue for calm, red for energy. Storage is thoughtful. Big console bin with wireless charging for 2 phones. Proper cup holders. Deep door pockets. A real glove box. The trunk offers 400 liters flat and usable. Rear seats fold 60-40. Enough for groceries or road trip luggage. Sound insulation impresses with acoustic glass and deadening materials. miles. Highway speeds stay quiet, no wind noise, no tire roar. Now let's talk power. The Blade battery. BYD's secret weapon isn't hype, it's fundamental rethinking. Traditional EV batteries pack cells into modules, then modules into packs. Battery and battery and battery. Inefficient, heavy. BYD skipped modules entirely. They created long blade-shaped cells and stacked them directly into the pack. Cell-to-body architecture where the battery becomes structural chassis. Benefits pile up. More energy density means more range, better safety, lithium iron phosphate chemistry that doesn't catch fire. BYD drove a nail through one in testing. No explosion, no smoke, longer life with more charge cycles, and cheaper, no cobalt. The Seal offers two batteries, standard 61.4 kilowatt hours or long range 82.5 kilowatt hours. The long range claims 700 kilometers CLTC, about 435 miles. Real world EPA equivalent 300 to 350 miles. That's Tesla competitive. Charging supports 110 kilowatts DC fast, 30% to 80 in 30 minutes. Home level 2 overnight, no problem. Vehicle to load lets you power devices from the battery. Camping, tailgating, power outages covered. Performance comes in flavors. Base model is rear wheel drive, single motor, 201 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. Efficient. Then the performance model, dual motors, all wheel drive, 523 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. Faster than a BMW M3. The acceleration is violent, instant power, no lag, no shifts, just thrust. The chassis handles it with double wishbone front and multi-link rear suspension. Sports car engineering, low center of gravity from the floor-mounted battery. Nearly perfect weight distribution. It corners flat, feels planted. Electric steering has decent weight and feedback. Better than most EVs. Drive modes tailor the experience. Eco maximizes range. Comfort balances everything. Sport unleashes full power. Snow mode handles slippery conditions. Regenerative braking adjusts from coasting to aggressive one-pedal driving. The brake pedal feels natural, blending friction and regen seamlessly. Driver assistance comes loaded. Adaptive cruise, lane keep, blind spot, rear cross traffic, emergency braking, 360-degree camera, parking assist. And over-the-air updates mean the car improves remotely. How does this stack against competition? Take the BMW i4 eDrive 40, starts around $56,000 in the US. You get rear-wheel drive, 335 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds, 270 miles range. The interior is nice, Germanic precision, but feature for feature, the Seal matches or beats it. More range, faster acceleration and performance trim, bigger screen, more standard tech. The Seal costs $22,000 in China, 45,000 to 50,000 euros in Europe. Even with imports and tariffs, it's 30 to 40% cheaper than BMW. Where does BMW win? Brand prestige. That blue and white roundel carries a century of heritage. Service network everywhere. Residual value we can trust. But pure product, the Seal is the better deal. Not even close. Compare the Tesla Model 3 long range at $42,000. You get 340 miles range, 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds. Autopilot. The Model 3 has that minimalist interior, one big screen, almost no buttons. The Seal gives you more traditional luxury feel, more physical controls, nicer materials, better build quality. Tesla's panel gaps and fit and finish get criticized. BYD figured out manufacturing consistency better. Model 3 has the supercharger network advantage in the US, huge. But in Europe and China, charging is brand agnostic. The Seal undercuts Model 3 by $15,000 to $20,000 depending on spec. Then there's Mercedes EQE starting at $75,000. Luxurious, beautifully finished, loaded, but 3 times the Seal's China price. For what? A nicer badge, marginally better materials. The tech is equally advanced, performance comparable, range similar. Mercedes gives you that sense of occasion, but if you're rational, the value proposition is absurd. The Seal delivers 80% of the experience for 30% of the cost. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, price. In China, the BYD Seal starts at 150,000 yuan. That's roughly $22,000 US at current exchange rates. For the base base rear-wheel drive model with the smaller battery. The long-range version climbs to about 180,000 yen, or $26,000. The dual-motor performance model, the one with 523 horsepower, sits around 230,000 yen. That's $33,000. $33,000 for a car that accelerates like a sports car and looks like a BMW. To put that in perspective, $33,000 is what you'd pay for a well-optioned Honda Accord in the US, or a base Mazda CX-5. The seal makes those cars look like terrible deals. But here's the reality check. Those Chinese prices don't translate directly to Western markets. In Europe, where the seal is already on sale, prices start around 45,000 euros for the base model and go up to 55,000 euros for the performance version. That's roughly 48,000 to 58,000 US dollars. Why the markup? Shipping costs, tariffs, dealer margins, regulatory compliance. Eurospec cars need different safety and emission certifications. BYD also has to invest in marketing, showrooms, and service infrastructure. So yes, it's more expensive in Europe, but even at 50,000 euros, it's still cheaper than a comparable BMW or Tesla, and the European market is responding. BYD seal sales in Norway, Germany, and the Netherlands have been strong. Fleet buyers love them. Rental companies are adding them. Private buyers are taking the plunge. The US market, that's the big question. As of now, BYD has not announced plans to sell passenger cars in the United States. They sell electric buses here. Their battery technology is in plenty of American EVs, but sedans? Not yet. Why? Politics. Trade tensions between the US and China have made importing Chinese cars complicated. Tariffs on Chinese-made vehicles can add 25% or more to the cost. That would push the seal's price up significantly. Then there's the perception problem. American buyers are notoriously brand loyal, especially in the premium segment. Convincing someone to buy a BYD instead of a Tesla or BMW is a tough sell. BYD would need to invest heavily in marketing, build trust, and establish a dealer network. That takes time and money. But let's say they do it. Let's say BYD figures out the logistics and brings the seal to the US at around $40,000 to $45,000. Even with tariffs, that's competitive. It undercuts the BMW i4 by $15,000. It matches the Tesla Model 3 while offering more luxury. If BYD can deliver on quality, warranty, and service, they could carve out a real market share. Because here's the thing, American buyers love a good deal, they love underdogs, and they love new technology. The seal ticks all those boxes, but let's not pretend there aren't concerns. Build quality long term, we don't know yet. BYD has only been selling premium cars internationally for a few years. Will these cars hold up after 5 years? 10 years? What about parts availability? If something breaks, can you get it fixed quickly? Service network in the US is non-existent for BYD passenger cars. You'd be taking a gamble. Then there's software. Chinese EV software is advanced, but it's designed for Chinese regulations and user expectations. Will Western buyers accept it, or will they find it clunky and unfamiliar? And finally, there's the data privacy question. Chinese cars, like all connected cars, collect data. Where does that data go? BYD says it complies with local privacy laws in every market, but skepticism remains, especially in the current geopolitical climate. These are real hurdles. Ignoring them would be naive. But if you look at the product itself, stripped of politics and branding, the BYD seal is an exceptional car. It's proof that Chinese automakers have caught up. In some ways, they've leapfrogged. So here's the question this video has been building toward. Would you actually buy a BYD seal over a BMW i4 or Tesla Model 3 if you're in Europe and the seal is sitting in a showroom for 50,000 euros next to a BMW i4 for 60,000 euros? Which one do you drive home? Do you pay extra for the badge, for the comfort of knowing BMW has been doing this for decades? Or do you take a chance on the newcomer, save 10,000 euros, and get a car that's arguably better equipped? And if you're in the US, imagining a future where BYD enters the market, does the value proposition override brand loyalty? Does the fact that it's Chinese made matter more than the fact that it's a great car? These aren't easy questions. Luxury has always been about more than specs. It's about heritage, emotion, status. A BMW says something about you. A Mercedes says something else. What does a BYD say? Right now it says you're early, you're willing to think differently, you value substance over badge snobbery. But will that message resonate? Or will buyers stick with the brands they know, even if those brands are charging twice as much for less car? That's the bet BYD is making. They're betting that a new generation of buyers cares more about features, technology, and value than they do about where the car was made made or how old the company is. And if the sales numbers in China and Europe are any indication, that bet is paying off. The automotive industry is at a crossroads. For a century, Western brands dominated because they had the technology, the manufacturing expertise, and the capital. That's no longer true. Chinese companies now have all three. BYD makes more EVs than anyone. They control the battery supply chain. They're investing billions in R&D. The seal isn't a fluke. It's a statement of intent. This is what Chinese automakers can do when they stop copying and start creating. And the scary part for BMW, Mercedes, and Tesla, this is just the beginning. BYD has sedans, SUVs, hypercars in development. They're not going away. If anything, they're accelerating. The question is whether Western markets will accept them, whether buyers will set aside preconceptions and judge these cars on merit. The BYD seal deserves that fair judgment, because if you ignore the badge and focus on what you're actually getting, it's one of the best luxury electric sedans on the planet, and it costs $22,000 in China. That's not just competitive, that's disruptive. If you've made it this far, I want to know what you think. Would you buy a BYD seal? Are Chinese cars ready for the big time? Or are you sticking with Tesla and BMW no matter what? Drop a comment below, let's debate. And if you want to see more videos breaking down the cars that are actually changing the industry, not just the ones with the biggest ad budgets, hit that subscribe button. We're TalkRov, we don't do hype, we do homework. Next video, we're diving into the BYD Yangwang U8, the electric SUV that can literally drive through floods and spin like a tank. Trust me, you won't want to miss that one. Until then, keep questioning, keep learning, and remember, the future of cars might not come from where you expect.